Hey, babies, and welcome to tonight's session of the chat. We are on the block and we are ready not just to drop it like it's hot, but to fill you with the content because the truth is, we got it, baby. We got it. We got it. So I'm gonna pass the mic to Mr. Prince.
Well, y'all already know how it is. Welcome back to the chat. We are your lovely host. I am Prince Michael. Over to my, well, yeah, y'all know this thing, honey. It's just horrible. You got to point the opposite way. But anyway, we have the stepologist on board tonight, y'all. We have Mr. Tokyo. Well, TC. I'm about sick of him, y'all. I told y'all this last week, okay? Changing names and whatnot. And then we have the most beautiful woman in all, y'all, who won her 20 pearls, y'all. Miss Ebony Saunders, y'all.
What's up, guys? What's up?
So tonight is going to be absolutely amazing. So we are honoring mothers tonight. So first and foremost, before we even honor everybody else, let us honor the two mothers that we actually have on board tonight. All right. So happy Mother's Day, Regina. Happy Mother's Day, Ebony. This is going to be our Mother's Day episode because the next time that we come to you guys, y'all would have already celebrated. Okay.
Yes.
Anyways, so we're going to be talking honoring mothers tonight. We're also going to be talking about Roe v. Wade. It is hot. It is hot. It is hot, y'all. Okay. If y'all don't know about what Roe v. Wade is, you all need to get up on it, honey. Just a quick little snippet of it. Oh, you know what? No, I ain't gonna even do that. I'm gonna wait till we get there because the person I want to take over that conversation is Miss Stephologist herself, okay? But last week we introduced something and we didn't get an opportunity to finish. And Ebony was the one leading that conversation. So I'm going to let Ebony go back to that, which is, do you believe that educators need to be paid more money? Ebony, go ahead.
So what I was saying last week when we were announcing what we would do with our, $780 million if we should win it, what I was explaining was I have a real problem with the education system not paying teachers enough. And I think we left off with Prince mentioning that, parents nowadays expect the school to be educators, babysitters, lesson learners, morale teachers. They are there to educate. That's what they're there for. And it's bad enough they don't halfway get to teach the curriculum that they want to teach or that they should be teaching. It's set before them. So, I have an issue with teachers getting paid less than what they deserve for what they have to put up with. And that is the part of the conversation we didn't get a chance to get to last week. But I'm curious, not only for our viewers, please tell us what you think, but what do y'all think? I think teachers are underpaid, period, point blank, just underpaid.
So, TC, what about you? What you think?
100%. For what all they take on, the limited abilities that they have, we can't deny that being a teacher is a liability, first off. It is a great sacrifice, and they do a lot for our youth. But that compensation doesn't quite add up to the risk involved. I've seen multiple videos in high school, especially, where teachers are hit, beat, put in treacherous situations, and it's not worth this. The fruit's not worth the squeeze. So we need to give them better fruit.
Miss Stephologist.
So I will just lend this for you all. As we stated last time, as we were sitting in this space, that we pay so many other fields, other professions. We pay them the multitudes of money, but we do not give those that gave them their foundational teachings.
Exactly.
A quality. Y'all got to say that again. A quality chance to even be able to take care of their families with affordable funding. And you have to understand that a lot of teachers are pouring what they are making back into the schools because a lot of public schools are under budgeted. And so teachers are coming in and using the resources that are supposed to go to their families and are supposed to go to self-care and are supposed to go to building and developing their futures and preparing for their retirement, and they're putting it back in the school buildings. So if you want a quality classroom, you got to be a teacher that's going to give in and give out all that you have. Let's just break it down. If we want to raise world changers to be fully functional and compatible with other countries within this nation, we need to step our game up. A1, not tomorrow, but today.
You know, I hear everything that everybody is saying, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate right now. Ain't nobody telling you to go be a teacher if you know that you underpaid. I'm just being honest, because entertainers get paid a whole lot more money. And I know that that's horrible to say, but when you have football players, and Ebony made this point last week, when you have, there's a problem when you have entertainers, football players, basketball players, hockey players, soccer players that are getting paid millions of dollars, but yet still, these are the ones that have taught your children they have given their children the foundation that they needed in order for them to even be able to go out and play professional ball. I know that it is a talent, it's a skill that must be honed, it is a skill that must be worked with, but at the same time, these people are making significantly more. Personally, this is just me, I believe that all teachers need to make six figures, at least 6 digits, because these are the people that are, they have a summer off, but some people, they have to go and work during the summer just so that they can make their ends meet. I know a lot of people that are educators that do not have it. And I mean, for them, $40,000 a year really doesn't equate to $40,000 a year. $50,000 a year really still doesn't equate to that, because they're, just like you all stated, they are putting their resources back into the classroom because they want to make sure that the students don't lack. Now you have what they call, like, they're trying to do community again, where they'll tell people, hey, well, we want you to buy 2 packs of pencils, or we want you to buy 2 packs of paper. That's to make sure that little Johnny over here, just in case if his mommy or daddy can't afford it, that they actually are not left out. I remember when I was in school, they used to do this thing where they would send notes home because they would tell my mom, you know, well, he really shouldn't bring this to school because it makes the other kids feel uncomfortable. At the time, I didn't understand that, but now I completely get it. So I really do believe that teachers do need to be paid more. So I'm surprised that we actually all agreed on something, y'all. But let's move into it.
Hold on.
I have to expand on that. Yeah.
So the piece that, and it's not a huge piece, but the piece that I want to look at us adding and us thinking about, and you kind of stated it when you said, if you know why, don't go in a profession if you know you're not gonna make the money, right? But in the same sense, some of us have horned in and we know that's the call. Like some people, you can tell in childhood that he or she is going to be this teacher. You know it in childhood. The other factor is, originally teachers were not making salaries. If you go back through history, there was not a certification to become a teacher. The community chose who the teachers would be within the community. And so when the community chose those teachers, right, those teachers came in with resources and just that authentic, I guess, honed in talent, natural talent that they had, and they used that to work it. But the community provided for the teacher. The community not only provided for food, water, and shelter, the community, anything that those teachers need, like parents would show up and donate because they understood that this was a public service act. And I think somehow or another, because we allowed it to be channeled into institutions where universities begin to teach them old shit. Lord God, please forgive me. I just said it out loud, right? So what the teacher is actually teaching your child in the classroom is not even new wisdom. It's old. And so they're teaching them stuff back from when we were taught in school. They're just using a different enigma to break it down and lay it out there. But and then when they try to be creative, we butcher them for being creative and bringing newness into the flow of things because
Mhm.
they got to maintain the old, right? I ain't gonna cuss no more. I just cuss. How I'm supposed to be the holy one in here and I'm cussing? I'm sorry, y'all. Go on past the mic.
I'm saved. It's okay.
So what I do like that you said, Prince, a lot is in playing devil's advocate makes you wonder, is it really the teachers in the school districts or is it society? And where are our priorities at? Because the reason why I say that is you mentioned that, entertainers, and we mentioned last week that entertainers make more money. Part of the reason, okay, why entertainers make the money they make is because we go on to watch all that stuff. And we buying these high ticket prices to sit in the stadium and watch it live. What if our priorities changed and instead of paying all this high money to go watch these entertainers play, we started dumping money into our teachers in our school districts? Okay, that's one point. The other point I want to make is, you also touched on this. Not only do I have an issue with entertainers making as much as they make versus the teachers that are providing the foundation for our children, I will never forget sitting in a college class and my professor let out that he makes $55 an hour. Why do professors who are already teaching adults who know how to act in a classroom, are 9 times out of 10 not getting ready to bring a gun into the classroom, are not going to, fidget with their pencil and walk all over? Why are professors making $55 an hour and elementary school teachers are making $24,000 a year?
I can answer
Why
that.
Why can't you be paid according to the grade level that you're teaching? I don't understand why a professor makes that much money versus an elementary school teacher. That doesn't make sense to me.
Universities, and I'm gonna say this and then just be done with it because we do have to move on. But universities, they do have more funding than public schools do.
Yes, but my point in saying that is maybe you should get paid according to the grade level that you teach.
I can see that. But we can agree to disagree. But honey, let's go ahead and let's move on, baby, because we're gonna be on this one all night if we keep staying. But I want Regina to go ahead and lead us into the Roe v. Wade.
Man, I was all ready for mental health tonight. That was my thing. But let's get to Roe v. Wade. Let's go back. Let's take a journey back. Let's digress. Let's go back to January 22nd, 1973, where it had been people in
Sorry, Regina, where do you store this information at?
Research, baby, research.
Where do you store this information? See, if I was still in college, you would have been my best friend because I hated history. Go ahead, girl. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm the racial justice coordinator, so this is stuff I gotta know, right? And we just yesterday held a reproductive justice reflection circle because last week, the whole week of the Stand Against Racism Challenge was about reproductive justice. It was about what was happening with Roe versus Wade. It was about that reproductive justice, right? This fight there, Roe versus Wade, where we have right now is all over the news because they have made this decision. They want to make this decision, but not even 50%, not even 50% of Americans are in agreement with them deciding that they want to overturn this. Now, the other factor, let's get to this. When we talk about abortion rights, we're not just talking about a movement of abortion rights, because for the Black female body, for years, they are still sterilizing and experimenting on BIPOC women of color and men of color. People don't want to speak truths, but in this space on tonight, because this is the chat, I'm going to tell you the truth. America is still experimenting on bodies, on human bodies, human citizens within this nation without their permission. Now, when we talk about reproductive justice, we're not just talking about abortion, but when they putting it out on the market to you, they're saying that they're going to stand for the female, right? The woman who's carrying the baby and the baby. You cannot stand for what you do not understand. And most often it is our white high male counterparts who are in these positions that can't carry no babies, do not understand the struggle, who are making decisions and saying what they're going to do to protect. I will say this to you. When we talk about reproductive justice, their reproductive justice is a coined terminology that came out of African American women moving to stand up for the rights of the Black female body, moving to stand up to say, we're going to support each other. You're not going to run over us anymore. So now when we go back to the 1973, right? And we're like, enough is enough. This is before Regina was born. Somebody was out there like, baby, we're making it happen. This movement did not just begin. But on the movement, as we move through reproductive justice rights, we are talking about not only protecting the Black female, the Asian female, we're not only protecting females, we're talking about protecting the body and giving people the right to speak up for themselves. Let's be real. How is it that you can have freedom of choice and everything else, and we begin to make laws that say that the woman cannot have freedom of choice over her body? That a person that has went on their journey as a trans person who has this is who they are going through transition so that they can claim and uphold the identity that they see themselves reflected to be, and you say to them that they can't do what they want to do with their body. How does that come? We got freedom. You got freedom of choice over money, right? Or do you? Or do you? So when we talk about Roe versus Wade, we have to sit down in reality and say, how is it that someone else believes that they can have the power to experiment with a human body, to subtract someone from bringing the fullness of them to the table so that they can make a choice and make money? Because for every Black baby, every Black fetus that was lost or every one that was taken, they experimented on. The Black woman I still feel it today. There was experimentation being done with her body from beginning to end. They experiment on us with how they inject us with things that they are saying are going to protect us. Come on, because Roe versus Wade, let's get to it, baby. This ain't just no little thing. This is truly intersectionality that's flowing through all social economical standards, but they're just calling it abortion rights. This is not just about abortion rights. This is about a channel of secret. If you even look at the way that they have this information worded out to you, they're wording it out in a way that makes you feel like they're having empathy for the woman and for the baby. I'm gonna land that, but are they?
Honestly, I think the part that really got me was when you actually read it, it talks like the very first thing that it says is it talks about Christianity and things like that. Now, what I thought was very interesting is that, well, I can understand if this were in Bali. When I was in Bali a few years ago, everybody believed in the same God. They all had the same religion. They all did the same thing. It was like they all are Hindu. And they were telling me when I was there that you had to have been born Hindu in order to be Hindu. It's not like other religions where you identify with it and then you just want to be a part of that. So all of them follow the same guidelines, the same God, the same principles. In the United States, we don't have that. You are free to choose and be whomever it is or whatever it is that you want to be. Mm-hmm. So I believe that it's, and I know that a lot of people may not agree with me, but I believe it's an outdated idea to try and tell someone, well, we're going to say that we're going to try and overturn this because of Christianity, to protect Christianity. And I will say this, isn't that the reason why they took out One Nation Under God in school, a part of the national anthem? On top of that, I also want to make, and before I go on any further, I want to make sure that you all are aware, this is not the law just yet, okay? This is something that, let me make sure that we preference that. This is not the law just yet. It was leaked, okay? Saying that they want to overturn this. Okay, so don't go out and be like, oh, they said on the chat that this is the law now. No, baby, that's not what we're saying. Okay, but we also have to make sure that we pay attention to these things. And this is one of the reasons why we were telling you all that your local elections are so important. This is an election year coming up. These senators and people that are in these offices, they are your employees. Okay. If you do not like the way that they are, there's a reason that these people have made careers out of being in these offices. And that is because some people fail to go and vote. A lot of people say that President Obama was the greatest president that we ever had. Some of them say that because he was Black. Okay. He's half Black. But then a lot of the other people say that, he was the worst president that we had. But you also have to look at the fact that he did not have the backup, so to speak, in order to back him up. And that is because people didn't get out and vote in their local elections to get these people out. So that way he could have the backup. They got out and voted for the president, but they didn't vote for nobody else. And I see you, TC. You look like you're trying to get in there.
No, that part of the message, I'm just learning. Like, wow, and it's all, for me. It's just all opinion based. I mean, because I'm one of those. Let's play devil's advocate. I'm anti-government, so I'm not registered to vote. I don't believe in complaining about the situation. I believe in adapting. I believe in understanding the system for what it is, understanding the puppets that are in place, and then learning how to make moves in order to create as much gain as possible with the system that is given to us.
I'm sorry, but do you see these three faces looking at you? For those listeners, when y'all are listening, okay, so for those listeners that are on Google Podcasts and all of these other places, we are recording this live so we can see each other, okay, on the screen. So when we're making comments and stuff like that, we can see each other. And the comment he just made saying he ain't registered to vote, baby, you need to see how tight everybody got in here. Go ahead, child.
So, so yes, for me, it's a matter of, it kind of goes back to Fight Club. You really want to make a change, you got to be radical. And we've lost that radicalness. I recently was looking at speeches by Malcolm X and the difference between him and Martin Luther King. And, I still have a lot to listen to be honest with you. But I love Malcolm X's aggressiveness, right? The radicalization that he holds, and really that narrative that threatens society. And actually, to add on to radicalness, there's a guy, I went and saw a movie about like this guy that was in the Black Panthers, and he was like undercover working with that FBI guy. I can't think of it. It came out last year. It was a good movie. Anyways, the guy from Get Out was in it. But anyways,
I know what you're talking about.
Yes. So again, the radicalness, that's what changes. That's what creates threats. That's what's like, oh crap, like these guys are up to something. And that narrative creates the change. Not, and let me specify, because somebody say, well, is burning buildings the same thing? No, it's not. Radical in a paradigm shift here through a multitude of people, through a one person that is preaching a message. Hell, let's use Hitler for another example of radicalness that created change, paradigm shift in the masses through his indoctrination. So nonetheless, that's just kind of like where I'm at with it. Yeah.
So TC, I'm sorry, I cannot hold myself. I need to ask you the question. So if to change the mindset is of importance and it's of value, what about the actions? What about the actions? Because if the mind is changed and you take no action, you take no part in the transition of progression, then what did your mind change for? Because you still operate within an institutional and structural system that allows others to make decisions for you while you sit back and say, well, that doesn't affect me immediately, because that's the thing. We have a lot of people who are not making moves because they don't feel like it affects them immediately. But when their children and their grandchildren and generations after are hit, when we talk about the Selma March, when we talk about some of the things that Martin Luther King was doing, Malcolm X, first off, by the end of his time, he was a peaceful warrior. He began with this high zealous, right? And remember that you have to do things in a way where you can consistently move with the energy of truth. If it's not real, If it's not real, if there's not clarity, it will end quickly. But what I want to say to you is you're powerful. You are powerful. So for me to sit in the presence of a king and for him to have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, but not use it to break open glass ceilings, what the hell are we standing for?
The glass ceilings are, in my opinion, they do exist, right? But there are ways to get around that. And the system, again, is designed for puppets to create a false sense of clarity and or comfortability or, hey, we're here for you. We have a nation that, for instance, my other business that I deal with TV and stuff like that, you have lobbyists for corporations that are inside Congress crying about the fact that everybody's streaming and that cable companies incapable of making advancements with their technology or their services to be able to meet the demands of the customer clients. They're losing money. So they're lobbying to charge customers $50 extra for no damn reason, only except to make up the profit margins that they're losing because everybody's canceling cable. This is the world we live in. This is the system. And so understanding the system and the fact that it's not designed for your benefit, it's designed for the elites. You have to make moves like the elite, staying underneath the radar. This is why there's so many back doors to cryptocurrency, NFTs, and the whole 9 yards. This is why when we had the conversation last week, maybe, about if you had your millions of dollars, I think 2 of you said something about offshore bank accounts. Why? Because you understand how the system works. So you have to do what? Work around the system. Now, anybody who has tried to do good to the system, we've seen multiple times throughout history. I think there's 3 of them that were assassinated due to the level of clarity or help for the people that they tried to do and got assassinated because they're doing too much. So the system is not going to allow you, and now I'm getting kind of a little into conspiracy, I apologize. The system is not going to allow you to do the right thing. Say Prince runs for president, right? And he's the next big thing. Obviously, he's a man of his word. He starts doing all these amazing things, writing executive orders to right the wrongs and do the things that we're talking about. Amazing. He's put a target on his back. It's only a matter of time before somebody takes him out as an accident or another wannabe 9/11 happens, whatever case may be. It's only a matter of time. And so we have to understand that this is the system. It's designed that way. There are people, I'm just going to leave it there because otherwise I'm going to say things I can't prove, but just have done research on.
So,
Okay.
go ahead, Ebony. Oh, God.
Okay, if we could get back to the heart of Roe versus Wade, what I will say is it sucks that the first draft of the opinion of the Supreme Court was leaked. That sucks. Because what that did was allow us a sliver of an open door, a cracked window to find out how they're currently thinking. And if you read any part, and if you read any part of that document, it's not looking good. It's just not looking good. But what worries me the most is, now let's take COVID for a second as an example. We got a chance to see with a national pandemic how each and every state's governors, and I will say it again, each and every state's governors, how they handle business. And I'm here to tell you, I cannot be more proud to not live in Florida, Texas, Kentucky. Ain't no way. We have seen governors get away with just ignorance, plain ignorance, in how they choose to handle the masses of their state. Right now in the state of Texas, they don't need Roe versus Wade. The governor enacted a law that bans abortion, even, and here beginneth my problem, even after rape. So you're going to force a woman to give birth to a child. How many women do you know didn't even find out they were pregnant until they were 3 months along? And they're clocking it at 15 weeks. Mm-hmm. So my problem is abortion itself is an extremely, no matter how you feel, regardless if you're let the child live or let the woman do what she wants to do with her body, it is extremely circumstantial. The reason why it would even become an option for someone is super circumstantial. And you cannot be in somebody else's shoes under their financial situation, in the environment of their home, or living the situation that got them to that point, there's no way in the world, in case y'all don't know, I am pro-choice all day long. There is no way in the world you can tell somebody else that has walked in whatever circumstance got them to that point what they can and cannot do. I just don't understand it. But if the Supreme Court overturns it, part of that is going to include leaving it up to the state to decide how they're going to choose to handle the abortion topic. And that's scary because I have seen governors just during COVID pull some ignorant mess.
You know, when you say that piece right there and you put it, I know here in Kansas, in the state of Kansas, if this happens, what will happen is Kansas has a backlog law that's set up. And that law is going to be able to be enacted. And we have to make sure. So the importance of bringing up Roe versus Wade is that our listeners, regardless of what state, what town, what age range, we need you to understand that this year's voting is so important. It is so powerful. There are several things that are on that primary. The primary, please do not allow yourself to think you're going to wait until general. What they're sitting on primary, they're sitting it on primary because they know you don't show up at primaries. And they know that they can get what they won't pass through primaries because people don't show up, not understanding how powerful primaries are. So I'm just telling you, get to the primary. Not only get to the primary, you need to start emailing your senators now, calling them now, not tomorrow, not yesterday, but now. And some people are sitting back. First off, again, as Prince said, the only power they have is the power that we give them. The only power they have is the power that we give them. And when you don't speak, that is power for them. The only difference is you can't come back and say, I said or I did, because you didn't show up. You didn't show up. You didn't say anything. So you can't get mad later on. And so it's a time where you can make the choice and show up in the numbers and shake the hell out this system, right? The system was intended to keep us in bondage. It was intended to keep the poor. It was intended to keep people that felt broken. And so now is the season. It's not time that we wait for a damn superhero. There is no superhero. You are the hero. Step the hell up.
You know, let me tell you guys something real quick. You know how everybody was talking about they wanted that $2,500 a month in order for them to, in order for them to get like that direct deposit of $2,500 a month until after the pandemic is over and all of this stuff. Do y'all remember that? Okay. Do y'all not realize that if y'all would have had perhaps different people in office, that probably would have happened for y'all? Probably. I can't say that it would have, but do you not, and I'm not saying it directly to you guys, I'm saying it to the listeners. Do you not realize that more than likely would have probably happened because there were some people that were gunning for that, saying like, yo, yeah, you guys need this. And let us not forget, we are still in the midst of a pandemic. We are just starting to go back to normal. And even though we're going back to normal, and I put the air quotes up when I say that, because to me, it will never be normal again, ever, because there have been too many casualties as a result of. And when I'm listening to TC, I'm gonna go back to what he was saying when he said that the system, like you have to learn the system and the system is against you and things like that. I completely understand that. I wholeheartedly agree. I never really agree with you, but I agree with you on that. But in order for you to change the system, you have to get in the system. You have to get in the system space. You can't bow down and be like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and, be on this little corner right here, and I'm just gonna conform, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to conform, because that is what people have been made to do for many, many years, is you are given a law and now conform to it, bow. That's what they want you to do. And the more that people continuously have that attitude and have that demeanor towards stuff, the longer we're going to be in this predicament. There is no reason in hell that we need to be going back talking about, oh, well, we need to talk about overturning it. Why? What the hell is that going to do? This is one of the reasons why I don't believe in people going on birth control. I don't. If you want to go on birth control, I believe that you need to just stop having sex. I'm just being honest, because and you're shaking your head, but I am so serious when I say this, because if, in my personal opinion, when you are given, oh, well, it's to help regulate your menstrual cycle. No, honey, let me tell you something. A little girl who's 13 years old, and she goes and she has her first, let's just say she's 13 and she has her first menstrual cycle. You know, back in the day, that's what used to happen. But now, you know, these little girls, 9 years old, my niece got hers when she was 9. But 9 years old now, these kids are getting their menstrual cycles. There is no reason that a 9-year-old or a 13-year-old needs to be on birth control. Birth control to me is something that says I am sexually active. I want to make sure that I don't get pregnant. That is something that's an adult decision. That is not for a child. It's the same thing that I look at when people are saying that, oh, well, yeah, you really should give it to them. No, because it does this and it does that. It does not matter. I am not for it. That's just like this new drug that's called PrEP that a lot of people are taking that's supposed to prevent the spread of HIV. I have a friend of mine that actually takes it. I told him, I said, are you aware that that's the same drug that they give you when you actually have contracted the virus, Truvada? And he goes, I never knew that. I said, yeah. I said, and the thing is that it lowers your viral count. So therefore, when you actually do go and get tested, it's going to show that you're negative. So the problem comes in where you are taking this PrEP drug, and let's say that you go get tested, you have no idea if you have it or not.
And I'll say this to you, studying and understanding, I want you all to take the time, listeners, look up the research that has been done, the movement that has been made with reproductive justice, and look up all the things that are covered on that move. Because some of the points that are pointed out are the sterilization of Black females in high numbers, with the handing out of birth control to make sure that they cut the numbers down of Black pregnancies. We went from being in a state in this nation where they wanted the Black to have more children so that they would have people to work their land. And then quickly they wanted that number cut. And when they wanted that number cut, what they came up with was this system of planning, family planning, and assisting and developing. The other factor is there's a high number of Black female children who are being introduced to birth control and being introduced to a system to get help with the fear of getting pregnant without parents ever knowing what's happening. And we would blame that on the family, right? We would blame that on the parents. That's what society does now. Mom's working 2 and 3 jobs because she has to pay to be able to live within this system in the manner that you created it to be. So it's not that she don't want to see little Marianne when she gets home and love on her child. But why are you trying to parent her child without ever informing her of what's going on? And you know on her when it go wrong.
You know, I'm going to say this because I see that Cortland just, first of all, Cortland, I love your name. I think I told you that last week. I freaking love your name. What are my thoughts on Plan B? I think that when a person takes Plan B, there is a lot that goes into the thought process of it. Especially anytime that a woman says that, or for the, even with her saying, I'm going to abort, that's a huge decision. That's a lot. So when a person actually says, I'm going to abort, that's a decision that she probably fought herself with. I have a friend of mine, and it came up on my news feed. It came up, and her son now is 7 or 8. I want to say, I think 7. Yeah, 7. And she was going to abort. I'm not going to give any identifying information, but she was going to abort her pregnancy. And one of the things that she said is that it was really weighing on her, because she was like, how am I supposed to take care of this life? I'm not ready. But then she said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I think I can do it. I think I can do it. You know, and we were telling her, you know, you have a support system. One of my issues with this whole thing of trying to tell a woman about her body, first of all, you don't even give women free menstrual products. I'm just gonna put it that way.
Period poverty.
You don't get a
poverty.
Yeah, say it again.
Period poverty.
Thank you. Like, you don't even give that out for free. You don't. There are a lot of things you don't give out free childcare. You only give them a few weeks when they first do have a baby, and then they are required to go back to work. More than likely, the time that they're off, it's not paid. So who the hell are you to tell somebody that they need to have a child when you're still setting them up for failure? That doesn't make sense to me. That none of the way that these people think make any sense. And the same people that were like, oh, we would no, we would never overturn that, are these same MFers, okay? Because y'all know I'm saved, I don't cuss, but some same MFers that sit down here that are talking about, oh, well, yeah, you know what, this needs to be reviewed. Why? Yeah, oh, anyway.
I want to add something to that. If you look at right now the poverty levels amongst women, if you look at the women who had to leave jobs as we went through COVID, if you look at the rates that it costs for childcare in this nation and how we don't have enough childcare in the nation, if you look at the discrimination, not only the discrimination, the sexual harassment cases that are happening within this nation, if you look at women, the level of women struggling with depression, right, in this nation right now, and the other fact, if you look at the numbers that have increased of women being incarcerated in this nation for something as simple as restitution or not being able to pay a bill or a warrant in this nation. Now you tell me what's going to happen if she has to have a child that she's unable to have. She doesn't have a place. She doesn't have a proper job to support. She doesn't have the education that is needed. She doesn't have the support that is needed. So then when she drops this child off, then you're going to charge her because you're going to have to up your laws because there's going to be more children and you got to hold somebody accountable and you're going to imprison her, or there's going to be a higher number of suicides because women, when they're hurting, hurt themselves. And what are we going to say? In domestic violence level, which are already soaring in this nation throughout COVID, let's just be real. What's going to happen then? And so then when we talk about ACE scores, adverse childhood experiences, if we're going to have a heightened experience of young people, even more experiencing those, which most who are unable to deal with it have already had some adverse childhood experiences, and they don't want their child to experience the same thing they've experienced. I'm just telling y'all, we're looking at a channel effect taking place because people in power want to have power.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
You know, the Division of Family Services and social workers can't keep up with the cases they have. What happens when you force a woman to parent a child that she never wanted in the first place? But let's not forget, remember, there's that golden rule that if you don't want your child, you can just drop them off at the local fire station. Mm-hmm. So what happens when you have even more children in foster homes that are of limited quantity in the first place? Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to figure out how this goes full circle without creating more issues somewhere down the line. It just doesn't make any sense.
But I can't help but to think that this cycle that you guys are talking about and really giving a great picture to goes back to pharmaceutical companies and really pushing drugs to help medicate for the problems at hand, created by the lifestyle, created by the pressures and rules and laws put in place to hinder one's ability to make a choice for themselves, i.e., the woman. And so it definitely, I can't help but to think that, going back to what Prince said earlier about Plan B being like a heavy option, a heavy choice. I still feel that, and I'm pro-choice myself. I still feel that at least if there was a way to have conversations about it and get rid of this Christian narrative of pressure of doing the right thing and just being A, proactive, B, looking out for yourself. And the fact that, again, it's your right, it's your choice. If I decided I wanted to become a female, and you guys are like, but I like you as a guy, right? Like, you're a handsome young man, right? Like, so then I've got to stay a man despite the fact that I'm not happy, right? Like, so, it really, I would like to see them provide more. Prince. Oh goodness, I don't want to know. Anyways, so no, but this is what I was talking about. This is a system designed to create broken people, to make broken choices, to create a cycle. But I just don't understand where the benefit is. Okay, cool. So what is this? I'm sure Miss Regina has a number. 300 million Americans in the United States, is that correct? Somewhere around there. So we go up 2 generations. So all you guys have grandkids, right? So we'll go up 2 generations, your grandkids will grow. Now they're making decisions and choices, and they're all manifestations of broken homes and the whole 9 yards of getting vaccinated, and they're all missing an arm, or they're not all there in the head, they got a missing chromosome. So what do you do with that? You're weakening your nation.
That's why I said the long-term effects of this are going to be just out of control.
But why would the elitists want to weaken their own nation unless they weren't a part of the nation? Sorry, I'm getting conspiracy. Never mind. Continue. I'm sorry.
One thing I do want to touch on real quick is I love how Prince brought in the part of the conversation that, birth control, Regina touched on it too, birth control is designed to cut the numbers. And the reason why, and it's crazy how they package it, right? Like, Regina, do you remember being younger? If birth control was ever suggested to you, do you know that birth control is one of the options to get rid of acne? Don't you just love how they package the whole idea?
Depression, acne.
Yes.
There's one that they talk about where you can lose weight. They have the other one where there's a chance you're going to gain weight. So they're got on that for them to gain weight. There's like all types of and then they go, hold on. You keep taking this, you're going to be sterile, right?
Well, what's crazy, and that's what I was going to say, so they package it in a red package and put a nice little bow on it and give you all these reasons why taking birth control is going to be just outstanding for you. What they don't tell you is that after taking birth control for so many years, when you get to be an adult and you're making the choices you want to make for the future of the family you want to build, it makes it that much. Every woman doesn't stop taking birth control and get pregnant the next day. Birth control, after a certain amount of time of taking it, not only increases your risk of cancer, let's not even go there, but it also causes you, when you are ready to have a family, it ain't easy. Because the birth control you've been taking to improve your acne and give you whiter teeth and make you lose weight is now causing you a difficult time to get pregnant. But they're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you that.
Birth control. Want more hair?
Right, they're not going to tell you that.
Well, I'm going to say this because I know we got to get up out of here, y'all. So I'm going to say this so we can get on up out of here. First of all, y'all have to remember, we live in pharmaceutical heaven. Okay. This is pharmaceutical heaven, y'all. So they push pharmaceuticals here for everything. When I tell you everything, like in other countries, and I'm very well traveled, you don't see them on TV talking about, oh, yeah, you should go ahead and get this drug. This drug does such and such and such and such. If you have plaque psoriasis, do you know that I'm like, huh?
Side effects are.
So y'all have to remember that here, this is big pharma. Big Pharma makes money. Like it's easier. Instead of telling people you need to get your fat so and so up, you need to go work out, you need to go walk for 30 minutes, you need to go eat right, you need to do all of this stuff. That's why I was glad when Mrs. Obama actually took out some of this stuff from schools, saying, oh no, we can't do that. No, they need to eat this. They need to eat something more balanced. Okay. But it's easier to tell people, you know what? Hey, here's a pill. Let me just shove this down your throat. But that pill that they're giving you is not a pill that's going to be a one-all be-all. Now you got to take another pill because that one that you're taking for your blood pressure, now you got to take another pill because that one is constricting you. Now you need to take a water pill to open you back up. But that water pill is actually putting more pressure on your kidneys. Now you got to take another pill for that. So then it's like, it's just a one after another, one after another, one after another. And people run and grab these medicines. I actually just had food poisoning a few days ago. And y'all know that, huh? I did. I think I did tell y'all that. I had food poisoning a few days ago. Yeah, I was one of them greedy people that went to the carnival and wanted a funnel cake. But that funnel cake I had, it was so nasty. It wasn't even worth it. It wasn't even worth the calories that I ended up getting. And I gained 2 pounds from that. But anyway, I went and got this funnel cake. I ended up going to the urgent care. And they gave me all these medicines and all this stuff talking about, oh, you need this one to help you stop with your diarrhea. You need this one to help you do this. I said, oh, okay. I went and got it filled for work. You know what I'm saying? That way I could be like, oh, I had medicine and everything, y'all. You know, anyway, child, please, the medicine's still sitting over there. I didn't open them. I didn't take them. The only thing I actually took was adult Pedialyte. That was it. And I was just like, I'd rather take that and be done. But no, we live in Big Pharma, y'all. But anyway, that's our time for this show, y'all. Oh, you want to add something real quick, Regina?
I just need to hit you on this. We are in mental
Hit me with your first shot.
So what I want to say to you all is, remember, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We will drop, even if you look at and listen to what we were saying to you today, it showed like some of the attacks that are being taking place. It showed you how one thing ties into another thing. That word intersectionality is so real. If you think about the word factions, if you've been trained in some of the leadership programs, they talk about there's so many factors that come together that allow things to take place. Please tap in and check in on someone that you know and show love to someone that you know in this season. Suicide rates are going up. Not only are suicide rates going up, the labels, the data shows that depression levels have went up during this period of time. Anxiety levels are up. It is very important during this period of time. Relationships are the currency of humanity. You have to check in. And it's okay not only to check in, I need you to allow others to check in with you. And when you're down, be able to use your words, use your writings to say, right now, this is where I am, and look at some places or some ways, some breathing techniques, a nice walk outside. Get outside during this period of time when you're feeling this, because I don't want you bottled down. There's greatness in you, and we're going to move forward this month. And I had so many notes for you all on mental health and what mental health means and the stigma behind mental health and what it does not mean. But we just gave y'all some juicy fruit today. So
you ain't got to be looking down like you actually wrote something down, girl. We know it's coming all off the dome. We know it's off the dome. We know it's off the dome. You ain't got to try and make it seem like, oh, you guys, like you like us common folk where you got to write it down to remember it. Girl, we know it's all out the dome. Girl, go ahead on somewhere. We already know. Anyway.
So before we go, I just want to give a shout out real quick to Cortland Davis, Renee Anderson, Shauna Collins. They were all just chatting away. We see you. We will respond to you. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. So bye, y'all. We are going to be out next week. We are going to have a licensed therapist that will be joining us. Next week will be pre-recorded. This week, we actually got a chance to do it live, but next week it will be pre-recorded. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
Get us out, Regina.